What is up everyone, Mark here. Welcome back to my channel, welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be giving my new top 10 for Eurovision 2023 now that we have Sweden and Portugal. Before we begin, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to help support the channel and help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers. Without further ado, let's get into my number 10 spot, which is Lazara, Évidemment. This is of course France's entry for Eurovision this year, and what a great song. Lazara combines the chanson elements that I loved from songs like Voila with a modern and disco twist. This song has grown on me a lot since it first came out, and I really am looking forward to seeing this live. The video we got was fantastic. Lazara had such great vocals, her staging was great, her outfit was amazing. If the actual show in Liverpool is anything like this, then we will see a very good result for France this year, which I think they are sorely needing after the second to last place they got last year. Now, I will say, the chorus of this song I feel like is not the strongest, and honestly that doesn't bother me so much now, but that was something I noticed when I first listened to the song. So for me, Évidemment will get a 9.5 out of 10. With that, let's move on to my next spot, which is Vesna, My Sister's Crown. This is the Czech Republic, and this is another fantastic song. This song really stands out to me because it combines 4 different languages. We have Ukrainian, English, Bulgarian, and Czech, and this is, I think, the only song that we've gotten this year that uses this many languages, which of course is something I love a lot. As a language nerd, it is very much appreciated, and these 6 artists are just so talented and great singers. I really did like their performance in Eaea, even though it didn't have the best production value, and even though I didn't feel like it was the strongest overall, they gave their best, and they really were working with what they had. I mean, Eaea was not exactly the best produced show in my opinion, so there really was only so much they could do, and I feel like with the staging and all the resources that they are bound to have in Liverpool, that this song will definitely rank a lot higher in my list, or at the very least, give us a fantastic show. I think the song definitely has winner potential, if nothing else because of its great lyrics, its great song structure, and the fact that the song really is a celebration of Slavic culture. So I have very high hopes for Vesna this year, very excited to see them in May, and for me this will get a 9.5 out of 10. So with that, let's move on to my number 8 spot, which is Mimicat, Ai Coração. This is one of my favorites so far. I'm so happy that Portugal chose this song, and I'm actually recording this right after Mimicat won, so I just finished watching Festival de Canção, and I was so blown away by her performance tonight. I honestly was not the biggest fan of the performance that she gave in the semifinals. I thought it was great, but there was just some stuff that I felt like needed tweaking, like the outfit and her hair, things like that that weren't that serious, and this performance fixed all of those, so I was very happy with the final product. Super happy to see Mimicat in her element because, as we know, last time she was sick, yet somehow still hit all those notes flawlessly, and she delivered a phenomenal performance. I mean, she hit every single note for me, and I was just simply blown away. By the end of it, my jaw was on the floor, and I was like, take my 12 points. I love the choreo too. I mean, the choreography was amazing, all the dancers were great, and I just love the way they played off each other on stage. This song is amazing. I love how authentic it is to Portuguese culture. I mean, this is the kind of song that, if you think about it, no other country could have sent except Portugal, and it's those kinds of songs that I really appreciate, that I really like, because they set themselves apart automatically, and they really do represent the culture of the countries they're coming from. So I'm really glad that they chose Mimicat. I mean, this was honestly perfection. I think the only reason why it's not as high as some of the other songs on this list is just because I find those other songs just a little bit stronger. And again, we've only just seen this song performed live with all those changes I just mentioned, so I feel like it still needs some time to grow on me for me to really just click with the song and just to get a better sense of where I want to put it on this list. But right now, when it comes to first reactions, this is where it is for me. However, even though it's not the highest on this list, I still give this entry a 10 out of 10, and I cannot wait to see what she gives us in Liverpool. So with that, let's move on to my number 7 spot, which is Luke Black, Sama Mi Spava. Like I said in my last video, this, in my opinion, is a very worthy successor to Constructa, who was my winner last year, and I like this song for very similar reasons. It is very out of the box, very different, and borderline experimental, kind of like a couple other songs that I have in my top 10 right now. And as you might be able to tell, I do enjoy that kind of music. I like when artists push the boundaries of what we see in Eurovision and really bring something that we've never seen before. Sama Mi Spava is one of the most unique songs we've gotten by far, and what I think is so unique about it, even just beyond the song itself, is that performance. That performance, for me, is what makes this song one of my all-time favorites. I love the way it's almost set up like a video game, and I think it mixes well with Luke's lyrics about being asleep and having to basically wake up or realize you're inside of a big game, and the staging, I think, perfectly conveys that idea, and also looks really cool. The performance in PZE was excellent, and I hope hope they keep a lot of elements from it in Liverpool. Of course, I hope they do surprise us a little bit too. But I think that even if they just copy and paste what they had in PCE, this will definitely be top 10 material. Will this song win Eurovision? I'm not sure, but honestly, I feel like it has a bit of a chance just because it is so different. Luke is so charismatic, has such great stage presence, and the staging is so eye-catching and memorable. So that is why I'm very optimistic about the song's chances in Eurovision, and one of the big reasons why I love it so much. So for me, Sama mi se spava will get a 10 out of 10, one of my favorite songs this year by far. And with that said, let's move on to my next spot, which is Moldova. This was a total surprise favorite for me because of all the countries that I expected to see in my top 10. Moldova was not one of them. I really thought that Sunstroke Project, which of course is the same band that gave us Epic Sax Guy, was going to win the Moldova National Final, but as we know, that is not what happened. And I didn't actually watch the Moldova National Final. I was pretty busy that day, so I didn't have time to get around to it. So seeing those results that Sunstroke Project was not the representative was shocking. And I was somewhat familiar with Pasha just because he was in Eurovision before, but I didn't know what to expect from his song this year. So I was like, if this beat Epic Sax Guy, this has got to be good. And boy, did I not know how good it would be. That performance was one of the best I've seen just in general this year. And I instantly hit the replay button because I was like, oh my goodness, what in the world did I just watch? That was incredible. One of the big things I like about this entry, like I mentioned in my last video, is Epic Flute Guy. I don't know what else to call him. He honestly is one of the stars of the show here. I love his flute solo, and it just makes this song super memorable to me because what other song has that? So loved that a lot. I think Pasha is a fantastic performer, and also those drummers in the back, they were really going for it in the chorus, and those two ladies in the back with those like antler horns in their heads, they looked pretty cool too. Gave this a very traditional, almost like I'm watching some ritual in the woods kind of vibe, which I liked a lot. So overall, this song and this performance is one of the most unique, eye-catching, and memorable for me, and the song itself is so catchy. I mean, it is just everything that I want in a Eurovision song, and kind of like with a lot of the other entries on this list, sounds so authentic to Moldova and their culture. So for me, Moldova's entry this year has to get a 10 out of 10. Total excellence. Cannot wait to see this in Liverpool. And with that, let's move on to my number 5 spot, which is Joker Out with the song Carpe Diem. One of my favorite entries from first listen. I mean, really, I love indie rock, and seeing indie rock in Eurovision is so great to me. I'm just so happy that we've gotten a song like this because really, I think this is the only one that gives us that indie rock vibe and does it as well as Joker Out does. This song is one I listen to just on the regular now just because it is exactly my type of music. It's a song that I have in my playlist because it is a song that I would listen to even if it wasn't a Eurovision song. And a big part of this too is the live performance, of course. Those guys gave a fantastic show, and you could just tell how excited the audience was to be watching them. I mean, if the crowd in Eurovision gets half as hyped up as the crowd in Slovenia, then we are going to see a very good result for Slovenia. I mean, this is a definite qualifier. For me, I think this deserves a top 10 finish, and I think they have a good chance at getting one just because these singers are so charismatic, and I think that energy is really going to radiate on stage, and I just cannot wait to see them on that stage in Liverpool. Cannot wait to see how the crowd reacts to them. I just have no critiques for it, nothing bad to say about it, and at first I wasn't sure if this song would be that strong for Eurovision, but over time, it has just grown on me and the fandom to such a point that I feel like this song has cemented itself among the best in Eurovision 2023. So for me, this will get a 10 out of 10, and I just cannot wait to see their performance in May. With that, let's move on to my number 4 spot, which is Alessandra, Queen of Kings. What an iconic entry from Norway this year. A truly worthy successor to Give That Wolf a Banana. I love everything about this song, this performance, and Alessandra as an artist. She has such a fantastic voice, and this song is nothing short of perfection. At first, I wasn't a big fan of it because, again, it sounds a lot like Run to the Hills, and to be honest, when I listen to the song now, I almost forget that this bears any similarity to Run to the Hills at all. So this song has definitely been on a journey with me, and it is a song that I have no doubt will do well in Liverpool. I mean, Alessandra gave such a great performance in MGP. I have no idea how she was able to hit those notes, especially those high notes at the end, given how much she was dancing and moving around and hitting all those other notes. And there's so much to love about this song too. I mean, the lyrics in Italian in the beginning, that wasn't in the studio track, so seeing that on stage really surprised me, and I hope they keep the outfit from MGP just because I thought it looked really cool, or at the very least tweak it so it looks a lot more Queen-like. I think there's so much they can do with this song on the Liverpool stage, so honestly just cannot wait to see what Alessandra does, and for me this will get a 10 out of 10. What an excellent entry, and one I love so much. So with that, let's move on to my top 3 for this year, starting with my number 3 spot, which is Loreen Tattoo. This is Sweden's entry, and my goodness, is this an excellent song. Loreen is one of my favorite Eurovision winners of all time. I loved Euphoria back in 2012, so it is amazing to see her coming back to ESC this year. Makes me even more sad about not being able to go, and I just cannot wait to see what she does in Liverpool. I honestly think that based on the performance that we got in Melfest, that Loreen can give Sweden their 7th win. And keep in mind, that will put them on par with Ireland as the countries with the most wins. So this is a huge deal. I think Sweden has one of their best chances at victory, at least in the past 10 years. And it is just so great to see Loreen back. As for the song itself, I think the song is great. When I first heard it, I'll be honest, I wasn't super impressed because it sounded very pop heavy. And of course, this was before watching the live performance. But like a lot of songs on this list, that performance is what made it for me. Her performance in Melfest was incredibly powerful. And if you haven't seen it already, please go watch it, especially the winner performance, because that was, I think, the most powerful and passionate performance that she gave. And it just set the song apart from all the other ones that we've gotten this year. However, for me, I don't find it as unique overall as my top two. And that's the only reason why I have it at this number 3 spot on my list. I still think Loreen is incredible. And if she wins, I will be very, very happy. But for me personally, as the person who's making this list, I just don't find this song as unique or as memorable for me personally as my top two. I think my top two really have something special. And while Loreen is an incredible singer, an incredible artist, I just like those a little bit more. So with that said, as you probably have guessed by now, I will give Tattoo a 10 out of 10. And with that, let's move on to my number 2 spot, which is Käärijä Cha Cha Cha. Cha 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 has remained one of my favorite entries of all time for a while now. I loved it before even seeing it live in UMK, and I love it now. I think Käärijä is a fantastic performer, a great singer, and just such a creative artist. I mean, this song is like nothing else that Finland has ever sent. This is a song that defies genres, it defies all conventions of music nowadays, and it just does something so different, so weird, yet it works. And I thought the live performance was great too. The live performance is super out of the box, both figuratively and literally, and just so much fun to watch. There's a reason this song crushed the televote in UMK, and keep in mind, UMK was a competitive show. I mean, a lot of those songs were some of my favorites that we've gotten all season, so it says a lot that Cha 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 was able to achieve such a landslide victory, and I really think this song has a chance at getting at least top 3 in Eurovision. Will it win? I'm not sure just yet. I mean, for me, this is definitely one of the songs I want to see winning, but I'm not sure the public will react to it the same way as we do. Again, the Eurovision fandom is not everyone who's watching Eurovision, but if I had to guess, I would say this has a very, very good chance at victory, and I am just so excited to see what Käärijä does. So happy for Finland that they're sending such a great song, and really cannot wait to see all of this in Liverpool. So with that, let's move on to my number 1 spot, and you probably guessed this by now, but so far, this remains.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment.
Blanca Paloma with the song Eaea. This has been my winner for a while, and it is because that performance blew my mind. Blanca Paloma is a phenomenal singer with such great stage presence, great vocals, great everything, and the performance of the song was like nothing else I've ever seen. Probably the most unique song we've gotten this year because, let's face it, I've never heard a song like this, and I've definitely never heard a song like this in Eurovision. I know that some people might not like that. I mean, I've seen this song being ranked in all sorts of places on people's lists. I've seen this in people's top 10s and in people's top 20s, and that's okay. I mean, for me, it works super well. My jaw was on the floor after that live performance, but for other people and for the general public, I totally understand if this song is not their cup of tea. It is, again, so different and kind of an acquired taste, but that's why I love it. To me, it reminds me of Constructa last year, which is a song that at first I was really put off by. I just didn't really know what to think about it. I was like, oh, this is different, this is weird, and Constructa ended up being my winner last year. So it's a similar vibe I'm getting from this song just because it is so different, and I just think that this song and performance is all perfection. This is, to me, a masterpiece, and I've said it dozens of times on this channel, but I will say it again. Blanca Paloma really outdid herself with this one, and I just cannot wait to see how she does this performance in Liverpool. So with it, that has been my new top 10. Let me know if you agree, disagree with this list. I really want to hear what you have to say, and if you haven't already, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate all of your support, and let's reach that goal of 1,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time. Peace.